Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. My name is Cristian Capucho and I'm Cryospain sales engineer with more than 8 years of experience in this exciting sector. You may be wondering what the idea behind the webinar is. We have designed this webinar with the intention of talking about our sector and to give you the opportunity to ask live questions that we'll be answering at the end. Today, we want to tell you the latest news in cryogenics and where our industry is heading. Our goal is to inspire you too, to arouse your curiosity and to put your own cryogenic context needs and interests into real context. What exactly will we talk about in this webinar? We will start with a brief introductory history, then move to its current context, its applications, the challenges of working in an industry. We will never stay far from reality, bringing you real use cases as often as we can. There will also be a space to talk about the inspiring future applications of cryogenics. And as the background to everything we'll talk about our capabilities as a company, demonstrating with real cases how we work to stay ahead of the curve and contribute to the breakthroughs that will most change our industry and our world. Let's start with a brief background on cryogenics, shall we? Those of us involved either directly or indirectly with this industry know that there is some confusion about the definition of cryogenics. We're sorry, but if you come here to ask if Walt Disney is really preserved in ice somewhere in the world, you have come to the wrong webinar. Cryonics is the controversial science of preserving living beings at low temperatures, or so-called cryopreservation, when current medicine can no longer do anything for them. So in theory, these people among them, according to many internet users, Walt Disney will be preserved until there are new ways to treat them medically and revive them. Cryogenics, on the other hand, are those branches of engineering that deal with the study of very low temperatures, how to produce them, and how materials behave at these temperatures. Cryogenistics use Kelvin or Rankine temperature scales, which measure from absolute zero rather than more common scales such as Celsius, which measures from the freezing point of water at sea level, or Fahrenheit, which measures from the freezing point of a given salt solution at sea level. And it's no coincidence that we speak of 120 Kelvin as a threshold for defining cryogenics, since the normal boiling points of the so-called permanent gases such as helium, hydrogen, neon, nitrogen, oxygen, and normal air are below minus 120 Celsius, while refrigerants such as freon and hydrocarbons and other common refrigerants have boiling points above minus 120 Celsius. But today we don't want to talk about theory, but rather the practice. Cryogenics has applications that touch every part of our lives and have very important repercussions for us and for our planet. So let's dive straight and take a look at some of the application of cryogenics. The application of cryogenics touch, as I said, all areas of our lives across industries of all kinds. What applications does it have? As a driving force for industry, the textile, automotive, metalworking industries, among many others, are already taking advantage of the benefits of this technology to improve their processes and to obtain more durable products. In the technologies that connect us, now more than ever, we rely on technology to keep us close even at a distance. The inner gases such as nitrogen, argon, and helium are used to manufacture the microchips that give life to our personal devices. But they're also popping up everywhere as even our cars and appliances become increasingly smart. In what we eat, technical gases are used for refrigeration, freezing, for food preservation, such as with the injection of nitrogen through packaging to remove the oxygen and oxidation, and for accelerating ripening of fruit and vegetables. To reach the stars, cryogenics is the power that allows our astronauts to reach space and beyond, a really crucial part of the aerospace industry, where a mixture of liquid oxygen and hydrogen are used for rocket launches, for example. To save lives, of course, we cannot forget its medicinal applications. Cryogenics is key in many of the processes used by caregivers when we are in need. Medical oxygen, liquid nitrogen cooling, cryosurgery, cryotherapy, anesthetic gases such as proton dioxide, to name but a few, are all directly dependent on cryogenics. For a cleaner world, cryogenics is also playing a crucial role in the switch to cleaner energy. At Cryospain, We believe that a cleaner future is possible for transportation. We're one of the main promoters of the change to cleaner fuels, and our technology is making it possible for LNG to be used more and more as a green fuel for mobility. We have passionate commitment to the change to cleaner fuels in shipping. On our website, you will find several successful cases of ship retrofits changing traditional fuel systems to LNG, as you can see in this video. We're also heavily involved in the use of LNG for both the public and private transport, which brings me nicely to the first of our success cases. We told you at the start that today we would base ourselves as much as possible on real cases. And this real job Cryospain carried out, a major natural gas operator based in Huelva, Spain, needed to build a liquefied natural gas storage and supply plant as a fueling point for natural gas vehicles. This customer business is expanding rapidly, thanks in part to the awareness of the growing market trend to use the greener and more sustainable fuels, such as LNG, in both the public and private sectors. It was Cryospain's reputation as a driver of the shift to cleaner fuels that led the client to contact us. The plant was to service any motor vehicle running on LNG, taking into account the differences between the requirements of large and smaller vehicles. Cryospain would have to ensure total safety and ease of use regardless of who used the plant for refueling. Cryospain was in charge of designing, manufacturing the plant, as well as supplying and assembling all components, storage tank, pumps, electrical installation, etc. We'll be diving deeper a little further on in the webinar about the importance of production capacity for the cryogenic service of today and tomorrow. Cryospain has 2 fully operational cryogenic workshops, which allows us to supply tailor-made components within the tight timescales that such a project requires, and it allows us to do so while controlling our own quality and safety standards. The result of the Huelva project was a fully operational plant for private and public natural gas vehicles. A cleaner public bus fleet and improved public transportation option have been a double win for their area's air quality. So in the next section, we turn to the main challenges of our industry. We have taken a look at the application of cryogenics has in all areas of our lives, but cryogenics is a complex technology with many challenges. To talk about some of the factors that need to be managed in order to harness of the benefits of cryogenics, I'm now delighted to hand over to my colleague Jaime Gutierrez Fuentes, Technical Director at Cryospain, so that with his extensive experience, he can share with us the challenges that we may come up against when working in cryogenic plants.
Thank you very much, Christian. That's right. In my role as Technical Director, I have seen firsthand the many challenges this technology brings and how our experts manage them every day and with every project. I have been dedicated to cryogenics the last 9 years of my professional career, starting as a project engineer and taking more and more responsibility as a design leader, site manager in different places of the world, from Asia to USA, project manager, and now technical director for these last 2 years. When it comes to cryogenic systems, the materials themselves are already a challenge, as they have to be just right for the complex functions they will perform. This is even more limiting for us, given our 100% commitment to customize each job to each customer specifications. Therefore, Cryospain workshops are full of carefully selected materials. This is why at Cryospain we have an extensive list of material datasets updated in detail according to the latest developments and the experience we are gaining every day. Audited suppliers who are leaders in their sectors. A quality department focused on eliminating any potential material defects. Another challenge in our industry is boil-off or vaporization, leading to losses of liquid product. We combat this with vacuum insulation. Cryospain is an expert in this technology. Known in English as cryolines, they minimize the evaporation of liquids during the transfer within a cryogenic installation from one piece of equipment to another, such as in the filling of one tank from another. The multilayer insulation and vacuum between the outer and inner tubes is what guarantees the very high performance of this kind of thermal insulation. But boil-off isn't only a risk in cryogenic fluid transfer, nor are cryolines the only product Cryospain offers to the cryogenic market. Cryogenic products storage is another specialty of our company. We design, manufacture, and maintain flat-bottom tanks with double steel walls and perlite insulation. They are used for large storage capabilities between 1,000 and 30,000 cubic meters. Due to their size, these tanks are prefabricated in Cryospain workshops with final assembly and welding taking place at their final locations. Vacuum insulated horizontal tanks for capacities between 750 and 1,000 cubic meters. We are currently involved in a very interesting national project where we are supplying 4 units with 1,000 cubic meters each for the new bunkering plant in Los Barrios, Cádiz. D-Wars and Rangers, the smallest of all with technology similar to vacuum insulated pipes. Another major challenge is thermal stress. Our equipment suffers from the thermal shocks between the ambient condition of a workshop and the very low temperatures of its final function. This affects their properties and size, creating stresses that have to be carefully studied. It is a best practice at Cryospain to know how the customers will be applying our products in order to calculate the thermal cycles and they will face and to study the thermal fatigue failures, for example. In this 3D video, you can see how we are able to use a state-of-the-art computer-aided design software to overcome this challenge and guarantee the integrity of our equipment. And to close with another important challenge, although the list is difficult to keep short, we can't forget the conditions to have to deal with in terms of climate and local conditions. Cryospain is already a truly global company and our facilities are located all over the world. In many places, we may face unfavorable conditions where, due to proximity to the sea, large bodies of water, and high humidity levels, we have to take measures to avoid corrosion. We have to deal with everything from heavy rains in the Netherlands to mud in Texas or truly remote places such as Santa Cruz in Bolivia. And sun and radiations in Abu Dhabi, in places like Jamaica and Canary Island, the equipment has to be tropicalized to protect it from humidity, and we have even had to come up with our own unique designs in tanks to combat the humidity. Seismic hazards in areas such as Taiwan, where we have a total of more than 7 million liters of cryogenic fluid installed in different parts of the country. So we need to go beyond a deep understanding of this technology and knowing how to put it at the service of our customers, to also become true experts in all the challenges it can offer us.
Thank you very much, Jaime. And talking about this last point, about the fact that our plants, tanks, and facilities are in dozens of countries in almost all continents, lead us perfectly to this next section. On plants and stations, in which we will take a closer look at our capabilities in context. The function of this webinar is to inform about cryogenics in general, but the context in this section will be those types of plants and stations that are part of a growing family of products and services that we are proud to offer worldwide. Cryospain has state-of-the-art engineering to be able to supply tailor-made plants. Our added value is the customization of plants based on customer requests and needs. and our ability to supply the plant on skids to minimize field installation time. So it's fair to say that we know that what we're talking about when we introduce you to the following plants. Let's start with the satellite regasification plants. These are isolated plants to which the service liquids such as LNG, LIN, LOX, LAR, and LCO2 is supplied by tankers or trucks on a periodic basis for subsequent regasification and supplied for various uses and applications that we will see later on. So how do they work? Regasification plants operate as follows. The service liquid is stored in the tank under pressure to minimize the vaporization rate of the liquid. This liquid's flow will be dictated from the control system as is required for the process, passing through the environmental vaporizers located on the left of the tank, which will help raise the temperature of the liquid to such a degree that the service liquid returns to its natural gaseous form. Subsequently, the gas will pass through an electrical heating system which allows the desired temperature of the service gas to be reached for the process in which it is required. At Spain, we have extensive experience supplying satellite regasification plants either for LNG or industrial gases for various uses, processes, and industries as shown as follows, in a range of flow rates from 200 normal cubic meters hours to 15,000 normal cubic meter hours. Our experts have created LNG plants of this type for all types of applications, including bunkering, providing a flexible infrastructure to supply ships or port facilities, vehicular, for fleets of public vehicles or stations, light or heavy, operating on LNG or CNG. For industries, which due to their distance from supply networks cannot have access to natural gas. This industry includes ceramics, foods, chemical, textile, agriculture, etc. Electricity generation or cogeneration, either working on an island to export and implementing thermal utilization solutions. Domestic residential market, allowing the gasification of urban areas far from gas networks. We have already talked about our success cases in the supply of LNG and CNG refueling station. We have also extensive experience in the design, supply, installation of complete high-pressure gas filling stations for various industrial gases, including nitrogen, oxygen, argon, as well as gas mixing systems. This includes the supply of the cryogenic storage tank, the pump, the vaporizer, the filling rack, among a range of other equipment. A good example of Spain's ability to make 100% customized equipment are turnkey filling stations for CO2 and N2O gases. They require specific filling and metering procedures, and our design team adapts the operation of the plant from a fully manual to fully automatic according to customer indications. In the case of high-pressure medical gas stations, the installation includes the tank, the pump, the vaporizer, and the filling rack. We promised you that we would not stray from 100% real context. So here goes another success case from our city of Madrid, where as in the rest of the world, this type of plant has become even more important due to the health crisis that is still, unfortunately, with us. The project has been developed in Madrid, Spain in 2012. The project consisted of design, construction, supply of equipment to expand our client's gas cylinder filling center. The result, after several months of hard work, a fully operational and optimally functioning medical gas filling plant. The impact, we increase the capacity of our client's plant and be able to supply medical gases. It is a special point of pride to talk about this particular success case. Spain participates as a technological partner in the Rail LNG project that has launched the first LNG-operated freight railroad in Spain to promote a change that has the absolutely vital advantages for the environment you can see here. The CO2 emissions are reduced by 20 to 30%, the CO emissions are reduced by 70 to 90%, the SO2 have been reduced up to 99% and 90% fewer particles in the atmosphere. Our collaboration in this project took the form of all the engineering, design, manufacturing of LNG storage and filling system and CNG vaporization and compression system for the conversion of strain to LNG. Where this project has been developed? In Spain in 2021. It consisted on the design, manufacture of LNG storage and filling system and CNG vaporization and compression system for the conversion of strain to LNG. The result was to launch the first LNG-powered freight railway in Spain. The impact. Spain is proud of our mission to fight against polluting fuels in transport. As we have already seen today, we're talking about the present with a view to the future, and for us, a factor that will be increasingly key is the capacity of cryogenic product and service providers to offer simple, comprehensive solutions that are always tailored to the customer needs. To address this issue, I will pass the floor to Pierre Merget, Sales and Marketing Director of Spain, to talk us through two cases that summarize the concept of customized solution well and are examples of how customizing to the unique needs of each customer is something that has become fundamental.
Thank you, Christian. Yes, indeed, the customization of cryogenic solution is key for today's project. Those who make their living from cryogenics cannot afford production downtime and need out-of-the-box solution and equipment. In Spain, we have extensive production capacity in our very own workshop, which allows us to make tailor-made equipment with the very latest technology, exactly in line with what each customer has communicated to us. We have a workshop in Pinto, another one in Getafe, both in our hometown in Madrid. Between them, we have a combined capacity of more than 3,500 square meters. Here are some examples of the equipment we customize. We design and manufacture CO2 vaporizers according to customer design standards and PED, and with a power range from 30 to 100 kilowatts for a variety of application and uses. Spain also designs and manufactures bottle filling racks and trolleys, scalable according to the customer's need in terms of number of bottles, filling pressure, and available space. As Christian mentioned, while speaking about CO2 and N2O filling station we offer, our design team will adapt the operation of the plant from manually to fully automatic according to the customer's indication. Our experts also design and manufacture cryogenic cold boxes or cold ducts, which boast a range of accessories such as pump, flexible hoses, filters, manual or automatic valves, even vaporizers, control panel, to name just a few. Let me talk about a real job we did which perfectly highlights our capacity to customize this piece of equipment. Today's cryogenic customer want a one-stop shop. This customer in Italy choose us because they needed a company that not only had multidisciplinary expertise, but also its own production capacity. So let's speak about our success case. First, so this happened in Verona. This is North Italy. When is 2021, last year. Spain designed and manufactured a small cold box with internal cryogenic insulation. We featured cryogenic piping, cryogenic valves, and instrumentation. This was a comprehensive solution tailored to the customer need, and the impact of the market is that the customer got a compact solution that exceed their expectation. Cryospain also design and manufacture ad hoc cryogenic centrifugal and reciprocating pump skids, whose accessory can include anything from flexible hose and filters to manual and automatic valves, vaporizer, control panel, etc. This kind of skid will be used for any application like liquid nitrogen, liquid oxygen, liquid argon, LNG, and any other liquefied gas overall. For us, this success case in Germany represents the future of added value for customers. 100% turnkey or plug and play, if you prefer, complete with an HMI interface tested in our own workshop to be ready for operation from the moment of arrival with minimum disruption. So let's speak more in detail. Where did it happen that this project was delivered for Germany? When? In 2020, 2 years ago. The project consisted in integration of a cryogenic pump with its own control system and additional accessories into a unit we call skid. The result, the skid was designed, manufactured and tested in-house, an integrated comprehensive solution 100% and adapted to the customer need. Impact on the market. Maximum efficiency with minimum disruption. The customer benefits from a fully plug-and-play solution.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Very interesting. Before we talk about key capabilities that are necessary to get the very best for cryogenic projects of all kinds, we want to take a look forward for a moment and talk about some very interesting applications for cryogenics in an increasingly present future. You may have heard about quantum computers being talked about, the future of computing. These incredible machines can only operate at ultra-low cryogenic temperatures, close to absolute zero, with qubits, which take advantage of a phenomenon called superposition. Unlike traditional data bits, qubits can simultaneously hold both 1 and 0 values. Qubits are extremely sensitive to small amounts of thermal noise, so to maintain a stable state long enough to complete the computation, coherence, they're kept at temperatures near to absolute zero. To increase efficiency, designers often take advantage of supercooling connections to incorporate qubits into computer systems. It is predicted that a conventional supercomputer consuming 1 megawatt could be replaced by a superconducting machine consuming 10,000 watts. Future computing will thrive, but only in deep cryogenic temperatures. One application that gives us reason to hope for a more sustainable energy future is in energy storage plants. This technology, powered 100% by renewable energy, eliminates the problem of geographical limitations by storing energy in the form of supercooled liquefied air or hydrogen and then expanding it into turbines when the energy is needed. With the rise of this type of technology, Cryospain will be present to offer the necessary equipment to run this type of plant, putting our capacity to supply cryogenic pressure tanks, pipe-in-pipe, skids, and pump skids at the service of this revolution. Hydrogen is a clean fuel, and there are numerous companies working on producing hydrogen through electrolysis and other processes, and then using the hydrogen as a fuel source for various applications, including providing fuel for vehicles. In fact, there are several companies involved in the development and supply of hydrogen refueling stations. In this case, we can see the value chain of one of the world's most important liquid hydrogen projects today. The brown coal is gasified, then the gas is refined, extracting the hydrogen gas. It is then transported by truck over land to the liquefaction plant. At the liquefaction plant, The hydrogen is cooled to minus 253 Celsius, reducing its volume 800 times and turning into liquid for more efficient transportation. The liquid hydrogen is loaded onto ships for transport to other locations where the liquid hydrogen is stored and distributed for its various uses, the main one being as a fuel. Likewise, these miracles would be impossible without the kind of equipment that Cryospain provides, manufactures and installs every day. Cryogenic pressure tanks, vacuum insulated piping, skids, liquid hydrogen loading yards, amongst others. So we certainly do not rule out that Cryospain will be directly involved in the supply of hydrogen refueling station in the not too distant future. And this brings us to the last section of our webinar, because to make yesterday's project a reality today and tomorrow, it's not just about the state-of-the-art plans of equipment. Also key are the capabilities of those of us who work in the industry to take projects from idea to reality. Here we wanted to talk about two capabilities that we value and see as a key to the present and future of the cryogenic industry. Let's start with our workshops. As Pierre already mentioned, the future of cryogenic lies in customization and the capacity to offer our customer turnkey projects. Having our own workshop with more capacity allows us not only to customize projects to each customer, it also allows us to offer solutions which can be started upon arrival and be fully operational without unnecessary interruptions to the production flow. We save our customers money and impact on their business going forward. Having more and more of the latest technologies for previewing the latest cryogenic systems is crucial. We have seen how we're able to generate 3D renderings for stress testing, but also involve the customer in the decision-making and feedback loop that will lead up to a better product. The future of our industry is a more proactive and engaged customer in the pre-launch process, a customer who understands their options and is more deeply involved in the realization of their cryogenic projects. In the end, the future of cryogenics comes down to how we in the industry can bring this powerful and multi-purpose yet complex technology down to the reality of the needs of people and their projects. We're passionate about cryogenics' ability to change the way we work and live, and hope we have inspired you, provoked your curiosity, and generally given some reasons to believe that as we do, that cryogenics will shape and improve our future. Thank you. So we've reached the question and answer section. Here's a part where Pierre, Jaime, and myself will answer most of the questions you have been asking throughout the webinar. In case we don't answer yours live, we'll be sure to answer it via email. The first question that we received is, what are the main differences between satellite regasification plants and high-pressure gas filling plants? The concept remains the same. The liquid in cryogenic state is vaporized through ambient vaporizers or electrical vaporizers, but the main difference lies in the pressure required for each case. In satellite regasification plants, the gas is generally required at pressures of, let's say, 15 bar or lower. In filling plants, pressures of 200 or 30 bar are required, or 300 bar are required. So in these cases, cryogenic pumps are used to raise the pressure to the required levels. We see here a second question. If I want to order a customized plant, how long would it take to install? Our plants are usually pre-assembled on skids in our workshops, so field installation is considerably minimized. As third question, We have received what are your delivery times for satellite LNG regasification plants with capacity of 500 normal cubic meters per hour. I would say that a plant of this size usually has a delivery time between 24 to 26 weeks from the placement of the purchase order. We have here another question, the number 4. It says, what's the minimum info do you need to receive in order to prepare a proposal for a plant? We'll need to know at least the type of plant, its installation site, the type of gas that you want to use, the flow rates and pressures, and in general, well, as more data you give us, the more accurate our proposal will be. Our technical commercial team is always on hand to guide you throughout the process.
Okay, we have a question from Thomas from Germany. He's asking if we do the seismic calculation of our equipment and design. Okay, yes, Thomas, we do the designs of the cryolines and our tanks. In cryolines, we check all the modal and stationary accelerations in a seismic design, or even we can do a dynamic calculation. We check the supports and stresses in the inner and outer pipe. And for our tanks, we even have our own design to avoid the stresses and the slosings in the tanks.
Thank you very much, Jaime. Do you have any comments or questions? Do not hesitate to contact us at our phone numbers, website, or emails.
Thanks, Christian, and thanks to everybody that has attended the webinar. I hope that it has been helpful for everybody. In Cryospain, all our team, from 6 people to engineers, all our workers, and me, Ignacio Collantes, the CEO of the company, are ready to make your projects successful. Cryogenic engineering is challenging, but we have made it our daily work. You can contact us for any doubt in our telephone, email, LinkedIn accounts, or through our webpage. We will answer you as soon as possible. Thanks again, and goodbye. See you soon.